it's ironic, and it's really ironic how when I first started cooking, I wanted to learn like fine cuisine and like French and Italian and European and old school because I thought that was the best, like before like maybe before 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like it just since then there's been a new wave of food, right? The food scene has changed drastically. But old school cooking was always French, right? It was always like hate cooking, French and Italian and Spanish, very European way of cooking. And um like Mexican food wasn't a thing that I wanted to learn because I was like, oh, I am Mexican. I grew up cooking Mexican. There's really nothing special about Mexican food. And if I want to learn something about Mexican food, I'll just simply ask my mom. You know, that was my mentality. Like if I want to learn, I already learn at home. Like, I don't need to like really focus and go to school for all of this. So I want to learn more Spanish and French and all this stuff where it is fundamental. Like I think if you're cooking, if you're gonna make this your career and like you want to live off of this and this is gonna be your thing, it's fundamental. I think you need to learn that. I think that's like the ABCs, right? Like cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be part of your curriculum. But it shouldn't be your focus, right? I mean, unless that you want it to be. So when I started kind of like cooking a bit more, I was in Italian kitchens, and I was able to like kind of like work in that area. I was just like, I don't really know much about my culture. I don't really know much about my food.
Mm.
I know where I'm from. I know what I ate growing up, but Mexico is so big and diverse that eating Mexican food is very different in different parts of Mexico. And I didn't really learn much about that. I didn't know that much about that. So that's when I made the decision of going to Mexico, living over there. I want to learn more about my cooking, I want to learn more about my culture. Um, and now, as growing up more of an adult, it's like I'd rather focus on Mexican food, cooking food, like my style food, just because that is my culture. That is what I know most about. I don't know much about Italian or French cooking because that's not my culture. I didn't grow up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on Mexican. I grew up on rice and beans and tortillas and all this stuff. So like, what do I know? That's what I know. And not everybody can necessarily correct me because I have that nostalgia. I have that memory. I have that in me, right? So I know more about that, and that's something that I want to grow. That's something that I want to feed. And now it's like I focus more on cooking Mexican food or like uh, parts of my culture that I know. Like, and I think that's why I opened up a churro shop uh, because there's a lot of history and it is something that not specifically Mexican, but it's something that the Mexicans adapted and they have their own version now. That's kind of something that I want to replicate. Right, I want to kind of bring that nostalgia back.